Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show. Where are we? We're in Palm Desert, California. We're actually in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, we have an incredible treat today. We're going to be looking at, in the continuing series of architectural styles, we're going to be talking about the mid-century modern style. Okay, so this is 1950 to 1960. It's a whole movement, right? It's a movement of styles, and we're going to be talking about that and digging into that. This is quintessential mid-century modern because it was designed by one of the most famous architects of that period, Quincy Jones. So, great style, awesome architecture, great details. Let's check it out. All right, so what is mid-century modern? Well, as the name implies, mid-century modern is the middle of the century, 1950, 1960. But it's a complete transformation of styles, right? It is not typical, right? This isn't your typical Leave It to Beaver house. This is a new style, right? Remember, this is just after World War II, and there is an effort and a movement and a desire to get away from the past, a desire for all these new details and new ideas. For instance, we've got terrazzo floors, right? What in the world, right? We're entering a house, right? This almost looks a little bit commercial to me, the way this is done. Quincy Jones was a famous architect out in California, and he actually teamed up with a guy named Joseph Eichler, and Eichler homes are really famous. He was a developer. He got with Quincy Jones, and they were actually designing houses together kind of for the masses. And so he did these developments, those two together, and now you can buy books on Eichler homes because really well designed, right? Because Quincy Jones did it, but also great houses that everybody could afford. Now, this was one of two houses that Quincy Jones did in Fort Worth. He did another incredible house, but we're talking about a quintessential mid-century modern house built right during that period, 1953, and with all different materials. You're not going to see a typical room like we would normally see, right? There's no double hung windows in this house. All the windows are sheets of glass, right? And everything is changed, right? It is a complete different way of looking at houses and how they go together. For instance, the floor plan here, there's not a square room in this house, right? There are all these different angles, as you'll see. The way they treated the fireplace, the way they did the angles, the inside-outside living. You're gonna see these huge beams that go up that support big pieces of glass that allow this inside-outside living. So come on inside, it's a real treat. Okay, so we're inside this Quincy Jones house, and one of the things that you're going to see is how geometric this house is, and there aren't, as I mentioned, any straight angles. You can almost see it right from the beginning here as we walk into the dining room that this door jamb is pitched this way, and this door, as it pulls out, right, is going to come out at an angle, right? And you'll see that. And this room, right, is a trapezoid, right? Notice the panels, okay? All of the things that we're used to seeing in houses, stile and rail doors, the kind of materials, everything's changed, right? We've got these huge sheets of glass. What it does is it allows this inside-outside living, right? Frank Lloyd Wright used to do that quite a bit. And so remember the influencers at this time, Mies van der Rohe, right? Frank Lloyd Wright, Walter Gropius, all these mid-century guys that were all part of this movement of doing things very different, right? Using new materials and new things to create different spaces, right? This beautiful courtyard, right? We're almost can live out there, right? The way this is working, we can almost feel that original design in that fountain, right? Get ready for this, right? Look at this fireplace, right? It's almost like, you know, a spaceship. This awesome cantilever design, right? Cantilevering was really important part of the design element of this thing, but what an incredible fireplace, right? It almost looks like something from the 50s Hollywood, right? Where you've got these great design. Of course, Quincy Jones was an architect from LA, so it's kind of natural that you would kind of see those influences. Great design on the outside. These beams, right, that support this beam, that beam, these huge beams that kind of support the house, and then these wall to ceiling, floor to ceiling glass walls that really transform how you live in this space. Now, let me show you a cool space over here. All the materials, we talked about, you know, all the materials that are different. This is Brazilian walnut, right? Notice the angle of even the floor isn't laid in at a right angle. And what is this, you know, trapezoid or whatever this geometric shape is here? Everything's different. Everything's really cool. Now, we go from this angular shape to a very round room back here. Look at the craftsmanship on these walls, right? That we've got this incredible walnut, thick slabs of walnut, right? That close up. These doors are all curved. So we've got this circular room, storage behind, great floor. Look at the floor, the way it's laid in here, right? That we've got these, you know, 2 foot sections, and each one, the radius is completely different, and you've got these individual boards that taper down to here. So in this style, right, there is craftsmanship, there is incredible workmanship that goes on that, you know, all of these pieces would have had to been worked out, right? Would have had to have been figured out so that we end up with this beautiful little spot here with the little electrical outlet right there in the middle. Isn't that cool, right? So awesome room, inside, outside living, right? That there are no divided light window panes in these houses. We're actually being able to see right outside. Notice the cantilevered fireplace here, right? We've got that cantilevered fireplace in there. We've got this this use of material and the marbles that they're using. Look at this thing, right? I'm seeing the chains and the weights that are being held up here, but this is the bar, right? What an awesome detail. What an awesome thing to order up a martini at that bar, right? So great details, good craftsmanship, completely circular room. Come back to the master. And again, what we're going to see here is this kind of this hip way and detailing of how they put this all together. You see an opening there, and you'll see an opening over here. All this is a complete circular arrangement. So I like this, all this glass as it opens up into the outside, this beautiful green lawn. Notice these walk-in closets with all these mirrors on everything here. Big slabs of wood, storage, all kinds of storage in here. And then let me show you this bathroom. One of the awesome things about this bathroom, when it's all terrazzo, you got a terrazzo shower, terrazzo surrounding the tub, even a terrazzo countertop, right? But that in the last, 53, 60, 70 years, no one's ever painted this, right? So there's originally only a few owners, and no one ever came in and ruined this. So we have this house that's really almost untouched, and seeing these original details, this original mid-century modern design is just awesome. So again, I told you about those corners and everything, and nothing's straight. You see the same thing where these jambs are kilted, and here's where it all works out, right? And here's looking down on this blueprint. It's almost the way they designed that. You have this circular area here, and everything spreads out from that. But here's where you can see the master bedroom and its angles. There's the dining room we walked through. There's the living room. Every different crazy geometric shape here, but still organized, right? Still, you look at this plan and you go, oh yeah, it makes sense, right? It's organized and it's put together well. Very well designed, crazy cool house, mid-century modern. Let's go back in the backyard. So here we are, right? We're back in Palm Desert, right? So no, we're in Fort Worth, Texas still. This is a quintessential mid-century modern house. And because it was designed by one of the top architects, we're actually seeing all these great design details put together, right? The geometric shapes that still are organized, right? They seem a little bit random, but they still make sense, right? The use of materials, all this terrazzo floor, the floor to ceiling glass, right? All those things that are part of that style, right? That are not typical, right? They're not your typical American Georgian, right? They're different styles, they do different things. Both of them are beautiful, both of them work. So this is mid-century modern, right? Different use of materials, different way of expressing architecture and design, different way of doing this, right? But still works, right? It's still beautifully developed, beautifully organized, and what a cool house, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to be here in this backyard hanging out here? So mid-century modern, 1950 to 1960, it's a whole movement. Beautiful example. What a treat. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.